It might feel like a lifetime ago, but there was a time when we were wondering if Huawei was poised to make a run at Samsung's crown as the premier Android phone maker. This show is not yet 3 years old, and yet I remember in the first year or so doing many stories about Huawei's Mate lineup and how it was getting to be so good and so competitive that one day people thought it might conquer the world. Well, Huawei is still making great phones, apparently. Whether or not you will be able to or will even want to buy one of them is another story. Say hello to the Mate 40 Pro, Huawei's latest flagship phone that, of course, can't run Android apps because of the trade war of the last 2 years. Quoting Engadget. We'll start with the one reason to conceivably buy a Huawei phone since it got cut off from Google, the camera, co-developed with Leica. Huawei's more is more approach crams as much raw power into their phones as possible. There's no single lens, and let the CPU figure it out here, but 4 lenses arranged in a space ring formation on the back of the phone. That includes a 50-megapixel f1.9 primary sensor, a 20-megapixel f1.8 ultra-wide cine camera, and a 12-megapixel f3.4 periscope telephoto sensor with optical image stabilization. When it comes to video, the company claims you could shoot a real theatrical film with its cameras. On an overcast October day in the UK, my footage wasn't very romantic, but what it lacks in romance, it makes up for with detail and clarity. You can attach live filters to the footage to give it a different tone, including sepia and monochrome filters, even as you record. I'm not sure that you'd want to publish this as a movie without a lot of post-processing, but there is something here to work with, end quote. Also, the phone ships with Huawei's newest, most powerful system on a chip, the Kirin 9000, an octa-core system supported by 8 gigabytes of RAM, a 24-core Mali G78 GPU, a 5G modem, and the 4,400 milliamp hour battery apparently can get you 2 whole days of use before needing to recharge. All this, and it starts in the $1,000 range, 899 euros to be exact. Can you see why this could have been a global contender? Of course, quote, Huawei runs a skinned version of the open source version of Android, EMUI 11, and its own app store, the Huawei App Gallery. There are some pretty substantial gaps in the list of apps most people in the West consider to be essential in that store. In the US, the most popular mobile apps on iOS and Android include YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Zoom, Disney+, Tinder, Facebook, Snapchat, and Netflix. The top charts for Huawei's App Gallery include PixArt Photo Editor, Dingtone, offering free calls, and Podcast Addict, a podcast client. In terms of the big apps, Huawei can boast Snapchat and TikTok, but that's about it. Partly this is because a lot of these big companies can't work with Huawei without consequences, like Facebook, which has blocked Instagram and WhatsApp from the platform. Other developers may not see the point of porting their Android apps over to an ecosystem with a smaller user base. Huawei's looking to remedy that with a wish list where when users find a missing app, they can add it to a list. Periodically, the most popular selections will apparently be contacted by Huawei and asked if they can help bring it over to the app gallery. But for users in the West, this situation makes a Huawei phone a very hard sell. It doesn't help that there's no easy, simple, and reliable way for users to circumvent the ban and install Google's services on there themselves, end quote. In other words, in the West, no Instagram, no deal.